Hello. Do you know what the most important word in human history is? The word that Jews repeat more than 100 times a day for generations. I will ask you a different question. How many times did you wake up today thinking about scarcity? Thinking that you don't have enough? Thinking that you are not worthy? If you are like most, probably many times. But here is the secret I will reveal. This is not the truth. There is a word, a single word so powerful that when repeated with intention, it begins to reorganize your reality in just 72 hours. It is not a simple word. It is a code of abundance, a code of blessing, a code of direct connection with the infinite source of everything you need. And today I will reveal this code to you. What is the word that Jews repeat more than 100 times a day? The answer is Baruch. Baruch comes from the verb levarech and means blessed. But you might be thinking, okay, it's a Hebrew word, so what? Why is this so important? Great question. And that's why I will delve deeply into this concept with you. This word appears for the first time in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, in the first chapter, verse 22. And this first appearance is not accidental. There is a deep tradition I received from my teachers, who in turn received it from their teachers, and so on, going back centuries. This tradition says something seemingly simple but profoundly revolutionary. When you want to decode a spiritual code, when you want to understand the true meaning of a Hebrew word that holds power, you must go to the first time it appears in the Holy Scriptures. That is where the secret lies, because the first appearance sets the pattern. It reveals the original intention. In the first chapter of the Bible, Genesis 1:22, it is written that God blesses the animals. And what does God say? Be fruitful, multiply, and fill. Let's analyze each word of this phrase because this is where the code becomes clear. The blessing is not just a pretty word that you say and suddenly magic happens. No, the blessing causes things to bear fruit. To bear fruit means results. It means harvest. It means multiplication. The blessing makes things multiply, and it's not just any multiplication. It's exponential. Things grow, expand, reproduce, and create more things. Now I am going to make a confession to you, something that completely changed my life. I spent years studying this with my teachers, books, investigating, and there came a moment when I already knew the theory, but I had a strange feeling, as if I knew something true but wasn't experiencing it. And then one of my teachers said something that left me speechless. He said, "You know the blessing but do not bless. You are like a man who knows how to swim but does not get into the water." That deeply affected me, and that is why I want to be different with you. I will not just give you theory. I will show you how to live it, how to practice, how to turn knowledge into experience. And here is the most important thing. There is a huge mistake in many religious traditions, a mistake that blocks most people. People go to the temple, go to the synagogue, go to the church, and when they sit down at the meal, they bless the food. They place their hands over the food and say a prayer. They say that this food be blessed. But here is the secret that most do not understand, and this is crucial. The food is already blessed. It has already been created by divine abundance. It already exists as a manifestation of blessing. What you need to do is completely different. You need to bless God for the food. It is not the food that needs blessing. You are the one who needs to recognize the blessing. You are the one who needs to connect the food with divinity. You are the one who needs to say, "Blessed are you who created this food. Blessed are you who brought it to me. Blessed are you for the miracle of being fed." Because when you bless the food instead of blessing God, you are maintaining separation. You are saying, the food and God are different things, and you are creating an illusion of duality. And in that illusion, fear lives, scarcity lives, lack lives. Because if God and the food are separate, then God might not bring food tomorrow. But when you bless God, when you acknowledge that the food comes from Him, that the food is His manifested, then you connect the two things. And in that connection, you discover something extraordinary. There is no separation. Everything is one. Now I will reveal to you the two deepest meanings of Baruch, because this word contains a double secret, a double message of Hebrew wisdom, which completely changed my relationship with abundance. The first meaning comes from the word brecha, which in modern language means pool, but it is not just any pool. It is a place where a lot of water accumulates, a place of intense concentration, a place where the waters that fall from the sky, that run down the mountains, that flow from all directions, meet and gather in one place. When you say that something is Baruch, when you bless something, you are saying that it is like a fountain, a reservoir, a place where God's positive influences flow and accumulate in great quantity. Blessing is accumulation. Blessing is multiplication. Blessing is infinite wealth gathering in one place. Think with me. If you think of abundance as accumulation, as multiplication, you begin to see things differently. You no longer see life as 0 and 1. You don't see it as having or not having. You start to see it as flow, as accumulation, as exponential multiplication. One thing leads to another. One relationship leads to another. An opportunity multiplies into 10. A blessing becomes without blessings, because you are thinking of abundance as a pool, as a swimming pool where everything accumulates. But there is an even deeper second meaning, one that changed my life. Baruch is also related to the concept of spiritual grafting. The word lehavrig is when you take a tree that is weak, not producing well, and graft it onto another tree that is strong, vigorous. You make a precise cut, remove a small part of one tree, and connect it to the main trunk of the other. And do you know what happens? The weak tree begins to receive all the vitality, strength, and power of the strong tree. They become one, and the one that was weak now bears extraordinary fruit. This is the perfect image of what it means to be blessed. It means being grafted into God. It means being connected to the infinite source of power. It means you are no longer relying on your limited own strength. You are receiving God's infinite strength through this connection. And through this connection, you become capable of things you never thought possible. Do you know why God told Abraham in the book of Genesis, chapter 12, verse 3, "In you all the nations of the earth shall be blessed"? Because when nations connect with Abraham, when they connect with Abraham's light, with the monotheistic faith he revealed to the world, they receive blessings through that connection. This spiritual grafting brings extraordinary influences. And here's the best part. This is not just a story from the past. It is a pattern that repeats. When you connect with someone who is connected to divinity, when you graft yourself into something greater than yourself, you receive that vitality. That connection is everything. So, when we say that something is Baruch, we are talking about a dual reality. First, the reality of abundance, accumulation, and infinite multiplication. You are connected to a bottomless pool of blessings. Second, the reality of connection, of grafting, of that sacred bond between you and the divinity. You are not alone. You are not wandering in the dark. You are connected, and this connection brings strength and blessing to everything you do. Now, here is the question that perhaps has been passing through your mind because it has often passed through mine. If the blessing comes from God, and if God is infinite, complete, and perfect, how can I, a simple human being, bless God? God bless me. Makes sense. It's logical. It all makes sense. But how can I bless God? How does that work? Does God need my blessing? Need to multiply? Need to grow? How can I, someone so small compared to infinity, make any difference? This question has stayed with me for a long time, and there are two answers to it. Let me start with the simple answer because it is beautiful. The simple answer is pure recognition. When you say, "Blessed are you, God," you are not adding anything to him. You are not trying to increase God, expand God, or improve God. You are doing something quite different. You are recognizing a truth that has always existed. You are declaring that all good, abundant, multiplied, fruitful things in the world come from him. You are putting into words a truth that your heart has always known. It's like when you see an extraordinary sunset and someone beside you says, "How beautiful." The sunset isn't more beautiful because someone acknowledged it. It was already beautiful. But when you recognize it, when you put it into words, you amplify your experience. You connect with that beauty in a deeper way. Similarly, when you bless God, you acknowledge the beauty and power that have always been there. But there is something deeper happening here, something that goes beyond simple recognition. And this is the profound answer. Although it is absolutely true that God is infinite, complete, and needs nothing from us, there is something extraordinary occurring. The light of God that is revealed in this world, divine goodness, the abundance flowing through spiritual dimensions, through daily life, through relationships, through work. All of this is within our reach. to expand and amplify. And why? Because you are a channel. You are an instrument through which this light manifests. When God created the universe, God created you as a co-creator. You have power. You have agency. You have the ability to bring more light into this world. Think with me. God is infinite, but your manifested light in this world depends on you. It depends on your choices. It depends on how you treat people. It depends on how you see the world. It depends on whether you choose to see abundance or scarcity. When you choose to bless, you expand God's presence on earth. When you choose to recognize the divinity in all things, you manifest more light. You have power, and that power is in your hands now. It is not selfish power, nor power to dominate or control. It is co-creative power. It is the power to bring more good, more abundance, more light into the world through your choices and actions. So, when I say, "Blessed are you, eternal," what I am really saying, what I am truly doing, is expanding God's light in this world. I am saying that I want this abundance, this blessing, this vitality, this creativity to multiply. It is not God who multiplies because God is already infinite. It is your light that multiplies through me, through you, through all of us, and that depends entirely on you, on your choices, on your practices. Let me tell a story that illustrates all of this. A story I received from my grandfather, who received it from his grandfather. This is a story passed down through generations in my family. There was a man named Moses, not the famous Moses, no, an ordinary man who lived in a small village in Europe over 150 years ago. This Moses was poor, extremely poor. He didn't have much. He had a small business that supported his family, but it was a tight life, you know? Rainy days were difficult. Unforeseen needs were calamities. But here is the thing no one expected from Moses. He blessed every day, dozens of times. He woke up in the morning and blessed the new day. He drank water and blessed the water. He ate bread and blessed the bread. He greeted a friend and blessed the friend. He made a small sale in the business and blessed that sale. People laughed at him. They said, "Moses, you're crazy. You're always blessing. Do you think blessings will make you rich?" And he replied with a smile, "I don't know if I'll get rich, but I know I will be blessed." And do you know what happened? Over time, slowly, things began to change. It wasn't an explosion of wealth. It wasn't a miracle overnight. It was something more natural, more organic. People who previously didn't do business with Moses started to seek him out because there was something different about him. There was a different energy, a different presence. He radiated abundance. And then opportunities began to appear. A client asked for a product he didn't have, but knew someone who did. Moses made the connection. Another person was speaking badly about his business, but someone he had helped years ago defended him. Things started to flow, not because Moses did anything extraordinary, but because he had changed internally. His consciousness had shifted. He lived in gratitude. He lived in blessing, and the world responds to what you radiate. 20 years later, this Moses had become prosperous, respected, had a family that honored him, a business that flourished. And do you know what people said? How did Moses become so rich? And most never understood, because they didn't see the code. They didn't see that Moses had changed his consciousness through the practice of blessing, that he had reconnected with the infinite source, that he had grafted himself into something greater than himself. Now you might be thinking, okay, this is a nice story, but how do I apply this? How do I start today? How do I turn this information into experience? And this is where we arrive at the most important point, because knowledge without action is just information, and information doesn't change your life. Action does. When you deeply understand what it means to be blessed, you realize what true blessing is in your life. It's not having money, not having success, not having fame. The true blessing is this awareness that you are connected to the infinite source, that you are a channel of infinite abundance, that everything you touch receives blessing when you choose to see God in it, when you choose to recognize the divinity in everything. Because you see, every time you bless, you are re-embedding God into the world. You are reconnecting what the dualistic mind had disconnected. You are restoring the truth. And this is the sacred task of every human being. We are here to bless. We are here to make the world more aware of its connection to the divine. Let me give you an example that will change the way you interact with life daily. Imagine a glass of water, just water, common, ordinary, transparent, odorless. Most people see this and think, it's water, nothing special, just H2O, atoms connected, molecules, a product of nature. God is far away, in the distant sky, in a spiritual plane that has nothing to do with physical water. What relationship exists between this water and God? None, they would say. Water is a chemical product, God is spiritual. They are completely different categories. But here is the truth that most do not understand, and this is a radical shift in perspective. God did not create the world once thousands of years ago and then disappear. God is not in a distant dimension watching from afar. God continues creating the world every moment. At this very moment while you are reading, God is sustaining this water, holding the molecules, keeping the atoms together, directing the energy flowing through it, making it possible for this water to have the power to hydrate me, revitalize me, sustain my life, quench my thirst, eliminate toxins, and nourish every cell in my body. Without God, in every second, this water would cease to exist. Without God, this water would have no power. Water can only do what it does because God continuously sustains it, creates it, vivifies it. The truth is that this water and God are not separate things, in different categories. They are intimately connected, deeply intertwined. In fact, God not only sustains the water, God is the source of the water. God is the creative intelligence within the water. God is the life within the water. And when you understand this deeply, you can do something extraordinary, something that transforms you. You can take that glass of water and say, "Blessed are you who created this water for me." Simple. So simple that it almost seems trivial. But see what happens at this very moment. You connected the water with God. You reconnected what had been disconnected in the dualistic mind. That glass of water is no longer just water. It has ceased to be just molecules. It is now a symbol and a living manifestation of God's blessing in your life. It is now an expression of the infinite. And when you drink, when that water passes through your throat, enters your stomach, is absorbed, becomes part of you, you are not just physically hydrating your body. You are experiencing the blessing. You are literally embodying divinity, making yourself more alive, more connected, more abundant. Now let me expand on this idea. Imagine doing this with everything, with every meal you have, with every moment of rest, with every action of your day. When you wake up, even before putting your feet on the ground, you bless. You say, "Blessed are you for the new day, for life, for the opportunity to be alive again." When you take your first sip of coffee or tea, you bless. Blessed are you for the food, for the nourishment, for the vitality, for the aroma that delights me. When you work, when you sit at your desk, when you pick up your work instrument, you bless. Blessed are you for the ability to work, to create, to contribute, to use my skills to make a difference. When you see someone you love, when you hug a dear one, when you receive a message from a friend, you bless. Blessed are you for the relationships, for the connection, for the love, for the presence of these people in my life. When you put your head on the pillow at night, when you lean into something comfortable, you bless. Blessed are you for the rest, for the sleep that restores me, for the safety, for the peace. When you solve a problem, when you get the answer you were looking for, when you manage to do something difficult, you bless. Blessed are you for the intelligence, for the solution, for the grace. When you look at someone you love, you take a moment. You say, "Blessed are you for being this person in my life. Blessed are you for the connection we have. Blessed are you for the love we share." The practice is simple, yet revolutionary. When you repeat a positive affirmation, a blessing, your mind begins to look for evidence of that truth. Your brain starts to filter reality differently. The same reality, but you are seeing it differently. There is a concept in neuroscience called the reticular activating system. Basically, your brain receives millions of pieces of information per second, but it only processes what your reticular system decides is important. And what do you decide is important? What you focus on, what you repeat, what you believe. So, when you are repeating blessings, you are reprogramming your reticular activation system. You are telling your brain, the blessing is important, abundance is important, gratitude is important, and your brain begins to look for evidence of this in your life. It starts to notice opportunities that have always been there but that you didn't see. It begins to connect the dots. It starts to create neural pathways that didn't exist before. Now I will give you a specific challenge for the next 72 hours. And this is critical because knowledge without action is just information. And you don't want just information. You want transformation. Here's the challenge. Over the next 3 days, you will bless at least 10 times a day. Just 10. It can be more, but at least 10. Each blessing should take between 10 and 30 seconds. It should be done with intention. It should be genuine. Choose the moments when you will bless. It can be the first thing upon waking, when you drink water, when you have your coffee or tea, during a meal, when you arrive at work, when you see someone you love, when you solve a problem, before sleeping, when you're in difficulty, when you receive a blessing. You can write these 10 moments on a piece of paper and put it on your refrigerator. Put it on your mirror. Set reminders on your phone. And here is the important part. Observe. Notice how you feel in the first 3 days. Notice if your energy changes. Notice if your perspective shifts. Notice if you start to notice things you didn't notice before. Write 1 or 2 lines each day about what you observed. And here is the most important part. After these 3 days, come back here in the comments. Yes, in the comments of this video. And share your experience. Tell how you felt. Share if you noticed something different. Because I will read your comments and I will know that you really practiced. And do you know why? Because comments from people who practice are different. They are more specific, more genuine, more transformed. Then, if you want to go beyond 72 hours, there is a 40-day challenge. Because 40 days is a significant number in many spiritual traditions. It is the time of transformation. It is said that if you maintain a practice for 40 consecutive days, it becomes part of you. It becomes automatic. It becomes who you are. So if you want to go beyond the 72-hour challenge, continue for 40 days. Keep blessing, keep observing, keep transforming, and you will see extraordinary results. This is my promise to you. If you practice this, if you genuinely bless, if you keep the intention, your life will change. Not because it's magic, but because you are aligning with the true reality. You are reconnecting with the truth that has always existed. You are tuning into the frequency where abundance, opportunity, and blessing have always been. So, start today, right now. Choose one thing you will bless today. And tomorrow choose another, and the next day another. And within 72 hours you will notice the difference. Within 7 days your life is already changing. Within 40 days you are a different person. This is the promise. And it is a promise that is fulfilled. It always fulfills for everyone who truly wants to transform their life through recognizing abundance, through practicing blessing. Thank you for being here with me on this journey. Thank you for receiving this wisdom. Thank you for being open to the possibility that your life can be different, better, more abundant. You deserve this. You have always deserved it. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, click the bell to receive notifications for upcoming videos. And more importantly, in the comments, tell me what was your biggest lesson today, what blessing you will start practicing. Because I want to know, and I will read and respond. And together, we will create a community of people who are blessing, transforming, and living in true abundance. Until the next video, may you be infinitely blessed in everything you do. See you later.